The New Orleans Saints finished 5-12 last year, and their constant need to simply just kick the can down the road and avoid going into a complete rebuild kind of finally ended. And it's ended the past few years here. This team is really shouldn't be rated this highly, but they are because it's Madden. But finished 5-12. They drafted Tyler Shuck. Maybe that's the quarterback of the future, but a lot of work still needs to be done for this Saints team if they want to compete and win another Super Bowl. So this is the Saints roster heading into year one. Tyler Shuck gonna be our starter. Then you have Alvin Kamara, who's been good for such a long time. It's so weird that he's now like considered old and all this other things, because it feels like Alvin Kamara just showed up not too long ago, but he is 30. Dear God. And that is a ripe old age to get rid of a running back, in my opinion. We have Chris Olave, got Brandon Cooks here, and Rashid Shaheed, and some other guys. We got Taysom Hill on this roster, and who is not a real tight end. And I kind of want Taysom Hill off of this team, honestly. I don't know why he's still here. Maybe it's a favor to someone, but I don't want him around really at all. Just need to move on from that, in my personal opinion. But then you got Calvin Banks Jr., really highly rated tackle prospect, and should be really good here. So you're starting to see some decent fruits of labor here start to happen for the Saints team, at least in that regard. Then you got some really old guys here on this defense. Tyrann Mathieu still here, Demario Davis, Cam Jordan. These guys are getting traded. Simple as that. These guys are getting traded. They're not going to be here. No old people on my roster. That is just not going to happen. So we're going to work some trades, get some of these guys out of here, and maybe Justin Reed. That's definitely not the right face for Justin Reed. Maybe we'll even trade Justin Reed out of here as well. So the first trade we're going to make here is we're going to acquire Quay Walker from the Green Bay Packers. I don't think the Packers will do this in real life, but this is a video game, so it doesn't matter. We also get a 5th round pick in 2027, but Quay Walker, young for Madden, decent player in Madden, could be something we could actually end up developing as well. So acquiring him means that Demario Davis becomes a bit of a liability. Well, they don't say play the exact same position, but you get what I'm saying here. Demario Davis, he is 36 years old. That is far too old to be playing for me. And we're going to acquire Kyler Gordon. Going to get another cornerback in here. I believe Kyler Gordon recently signed a new deal, so he's locked in for a while. So we're going to improve this cornerback room and get a 3rd round pick in the following draft as well. So going to make that trade as well. And we're going to end up trading Alvin Kamara to the Patriots. We're going to get Keon White and a 7th round pick as well. So we get a younger edge player. Maybe we can develop him here, but that might do it for trades. Maybe I'll have a couple more. And we're going to end up trading Cam Jordan to the Commanders for a 5th round pick. Not a big return, but just going to get him out of here. And I think that's probably a realistic return for a player of his age. Probably going to retire soon. So a 5th for a team like the Commanders that's probably trying to make a bit of a run. They need some edge help. So that's the deal we're going to make with them. Okay, so this is going to be the final team for Season 1. They made some trades, got some guys out of here. Not too many big changes. Traded Taysom Hill to the Cowboys for a 7th round pick. Just wanted him off the roster. Tyler Shuck gonna start for us this year. Defensively, that's where I think some of the biggest changes end up being made here. So yeah, it is going to be very interesting to kind of see what this team ends up looking like, honestly. So we do have Quay Walker here. That should be really interesting. He should play pretty well for us. And actually I forgot to trade Chase Young. That's the one thing I was going to do. I was going to trade Chase Young out of here. I'm not a big Chase Young guy. We should probably get something for him too, honestly. So there we go. We're going to get a 3rd for Chase Young. We're going to send him to Las Vegas. They probably could use another edge rusher. We're going to send him to Vegas, get him out of here. And now this team should be kind of more where I want it to be. So we are at the midseason mark, and we are 2-5, which is pretty much to be expected, if I'm being honest. Did not expect this team to do very well. Take a look and see how Tyler Shuck is playing, and it's not well. 6 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, 1,200 yards. Things are not going very good. Running attack is not particularly anything to write home about. Receiving, Chris Olave with 1 receiving touchdown on the season, and then you got the rest of that. So these guys are not really doing much. Defensively, are we getting sacks? Honestly, yeah. I mean, Keon White's playing really well, so that looks like a decent trade. I mean, he's actually playing pretty good. So there is that going for us. We're getting some turnovers. Didn't trade Justin Reed. Kind of forgot to do that. But apart from that, I mean, defense isn't playing. Actually, I don't know if the defense is playing well, but we are getting pressure. We are getting sacks. Keon White playing pretty well for us, so I think that was a decent trade to get him out of here. But right now, it does not look like this Saints team is going to make the playoffs. Granted, that wasn't the goal this year. It was to evaluate whether or not Tyler Shuck could be our guy. Maybe he's not, but we are scouting quarterbacks. So hopefully, maybe we'll find one in the draft that has a little bit more upside than Shuck. So we end up finishing 4-13. That's about where I think the Saints team probably will finish, but 4-13 on the year. Tyler Shuck did not really have, I think, a good season, honestly. Well under 4,000 yards, 17 touchdowns to 16 interceptions. Just not a very good season. He did complete 63% of his passes, but that's really just not a good season. Rushing, Cam Akers failed to hit 1,000 yards, and then Chris Olave failed to hit 1,000 yards. Only 3 touchdowns, 5 for Rashid Shaheed, 5 for Brandon Cooks, 1 for Juwan Johnson. Cam Akers had a receiving touchdown, and so on and so on. But not a very good season. Defensively, there's no play. I was gonna say that's how bad our defense was. No one had cured any stats. No. But Keon White, 9.5 sacks. Carl Granderson, 6.5. Devon Godshaw, 4.5 sacks. Brian Brzee, some sacks, but nothing really all that special for any of these guys. So let's get into re-signings and try to start this offseason and get this team kind of right on track to kind of regain, I think, its footing as when Sean Payton was here as one of the better teams in the NFC South. Okay, so we are here, season recap real quick, and it's the Detroit Lions winning the Super Bowl. I believe I've seen that a couple times. It's mostly the Lions, sometimes the Ravens, of course, sometimes the Eagles in the Sims, but we are going to have $115 million in cap space to play around with. So that is pretty good. That's like that might be the most I've ever had to kind of start one of these things, but $115 million. We do have to re-sign some guys. One of these guys is going to be Quay Walker. He wants money. We did trade for him, so I'm going to try to keep him around, give him a bunch of money, and he is happy to stick around for money, which I think is like what most people are in life. And there's not too many guys really that we need to re-sign here. Trevor Penning, we are going to try to keep around. He is a guard, and those are nice to have, and he's happy to play. Keep playing for, so that's always pretty nice. But yeah, just looking through here, I don't think there's too many guys we have to bring back in terms of just age and things like that. Just overall, we'll keep the kicker around. We'll give him a multi-year deal just so I don't have to ever think about re-signing a kicker at any point in time, and as we do this rebuild. So there it is right there. We spent some money, and now let's go improve this roster. Okay, so for free agency, we made a couple moves here. Brought in Reed Blankenship, brought in Rico Dowdle, brought in Christian Watson, brought in Trey Brown, and we brought in Jelani Woods as a spare tight end. So that's probably going to do it for free agency. Not going to go out here, I think, really sign anyone else. I don't want to spend up every last single cent that we have as Mike Evans heads to Seattle. So I think we're going to do those signings, and it's going to be on to the draft. So we are at the draft, and we have the number 1 pick in the draft here, so we can kind of do whatever we want here. This screen is still messed up. How is this still messed up? Oh boy. Okay, so we're in the draft here. We're taking a look around at the quarterbacks right now, and the top 2 quarterbacks, both projected to go in, the top 5, but their actual talent for this quarterback is a round 3 to 4 talent, and this quarterback, Todd Keys, is a projected talent of a round 1 to 2 player. We don't have a full lock on that. He is only 22. And that is younger than Tyler Shough. And also, the issue with Tyler Shough is he does not have a dev trait. He is just normal dev. So it is going to take a little while for Tyler Shough to even get to probably reach whatever his full potential is. And that full potential probably isn't that high because by the time he reaches it, he'll be old and probably regressing because that's how Madden does. I don't know. It feels like Madden 26, regression doesn't really hit as hard as it did in previous years. So either way, we're still going to go with quarterback Todd Keys right here in the draft. And he is ranked number 45 in true value, which is not all that bad. It's not all that surprising, but he does have a hidden dev trait. So I think that is the one positive we have right there. He's 92 throw power as well. And yeah, and he also has a awareness. So his awareness rating should be good. Probably our starter for week 1. So for our second pick, I do want another wide receiver. And it's kind of coming down here to Rich Keaton and Bradley Scott. Another player we could look at, though, is, well, this is another linebacker. We don't really need any more linebackers. None of these tight ends are all that interesting, if I'm being entirely honest. None of them have anything that's too interesting, even though this one does look pretty decent, actually. His acceleration isn't all that good, but he does have good agility, solid change of direction and jumping, but great speed and great strength. And this guy also has elite jumping, great acceleration. He's an elusive back. We just paid a running back, so it would feel weird taking another running back. We also did bring in Christian Watson, and we do need a running back. And I haven't really taken a swing at a running back yet in any of these rebuilds that I have done. And so we're gonna take a swing here on Marquise Holmes, a running back here, and he is ranked number 22 in true value. We got him at 33 in the draft, so that is probably decent. He does have normal dev, so that probably does suck a little bit, but took a swing at a running back. And let's see our third pick, and then we'll simulate the rest of the draft. So back in the third round here, there is a tight end here who looks, well, we don't have him fully scouted out, but he is projected round 1 to 2. We don't know exactly what his talent projection is. Take a look at this tight end still, and he has elite acceleration, great agility, elite. I mean, yeah, this guy looks good. His key ratings look good. This feels like a pretty easy pick right here. Eduardo Cardona is going to be our first pick of the third round. I don't need to hear Roger Goodell, but he is ranked 31 in true value. We took him at 65, and he also has normal dev as well, which is a little disappointing, but again, he looks like a solid player, good athlete, and so that's kind of just a pick I'll make every single time. We have another pick here right after. I forgot what this trade this was a part of. We made a couple trades to start this thing off to kind of get these picks, and now it's giving us the normal screen, so that is really good. So we're still looking around here, trying to find something, and you could always use more defensive tackles, and in my opinion, definitely when you're playing, but just what is his strength rating? He has good strength. This guy has great strength. He's an edge player. We don't really need any edge players, but this defensive tackle out of Florida, he looks like he has good physicals. So view his player card, and his actual stuff sucks. I mean, D block shedding, that's just a no-go for me. That's not going to happen. Not looking for that at all. Take a look around here at some more of these defensive tackles, trying to find these ratings. Look at these attributes, see if anyone has decent block shedding, and It's ready. Maybe this guy down here, but then we have some guys down here. Andy Arnold. He has a nose. I think the cheese for these defensive tackles is the nose tackles. I think almost all of them are always good. This guy's elite acceleration, good strength. His skills look decent as well. So Andy Arnold is going to be the pick. I think for the most part, when you're drafting, you just want to get these guys, these nose tackles. They're always just really good. Hidden dev. I think I've done this enough now to just kind of know these are kind of the better players, these nose tackles, when you're looking for defensive tackles. More often than not, these are the best players at that position. 356 pounds. I'll take another defensive tackle. I'll just take another one. We'll have an abundance of defensive tackles. He's ranked number 70 in true value. We got him at 87. Normal depth for him, 88 strength. Like I said, these guys are just always the best players in these draft classes, it seems like. So, draft recap. Todd Keys is a 74 overall. Marquise Holmes is a 75 overall. 75 overall for the tight end. And then Andy Arnold, 73 overall. Matt Hendricks, 72 overall. And then the CPU kind of did the rest here. With the picks, finding maybe a decent backup, another running back here. But our first few picks were really good, honestly. Like I said, those nose tackles are usually always really good. I mean, that's just kind of how it goes. Those guys are just always just some of the better players in these drafts. Take a look around here, kind of see who was the best player in this draft. It looks like we for sure got the best quarterback. Was this more of a lower rated draft? Anyone in there was an 80 overall player. Of course, it was a hybrid strong safety out of USC. I think that's another thing that happens a lot. Like the USC safeties are always really, really good. Some decent guys here on the look at some more great defensive nose tackles. Nose tackles. Again, that's just kind of how it goes in these draft classes. But we did not get the best tight end, but we took our tight end in the 3rd round, so maybe we should just took one of them here. But I'm not too disappointed about that. I think we had a pretty decent draft, all things considered. So let's get into what the roster is going to look like for season 2. Okay, so this is the team for year number 2. Tyler Shuck, no longer the starter. Spencer Rattler not starting. It's going to be Keys. We're handing the keys of the franchise over to Todd Keys. And he is already a 77 overall. He has been getting a lot of dev points pretty quickly, partly because we have an ability, partly because he has potentially star or above dev trait. So he is going to be our starter for year 1. And the rest of the team, I think, looks decent. Running back is nothing to write home about. We're actually going to start our rookie. I'm not sure what happened to the other running back. We should be a different guy here. Where's Rico Dowdle? I'll have to go take a look here. But Coker, he's here. Christian Watson's here. Chris Olave's here. Brandon Cook's still here. Offensive line looks okay. We have our young tight end starting. And then defensively, we have Devon Godchow here. Andy Arnold is going to be our defensive tackle number 2. Keon White, Granderson still here. And then we have a okay linebacker room. Honestly, I think it's pretty decent. And then we have Reed Blankenship right here as our starting free safety. Kyler Gordon and Kool-Aid McKinstry as our starting corners. So shouldn't be too crazy for anything, but I'm going to see what happened to Rico Dowdle. Why is he no longer on my team? Why is he no longer my starting running back? So here's Rico Dowdle. He somehow got released for some reason. Not sure why the game would release our best running back, but I'm not going to re-sign him. So maybe he just didn't play good in camp and lost his job to a rookie. So we are going to simulate to the midseason mark. I'll see you when we get there. Hopefully this season goes better than last season. So midseason mark, we are 2-5 yet again. Not very good. Take a look here at the stats and quarterback. It's not great. We have 4 quarterbacks on roster. That's not great. But 13 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. That's not too bad. Running back is putting in some work. Only 322 yards through 7 games. That's not particularly great. And then Christian Watson, He's putting up some pretty nice numbers, actually. 9 touchdowns. And then Chris Olave, only 1 touchdown, 444 yards so far on the season. But Watson playing pretty well, so that's a decent signing. And then defensively, we are... Andy Arnold playing pretty good, though, getting 4 sacks so far in the season. Carl Granderson with 5, Keon White 2.5. And that's about it. So nothing too great defensively. We are getting some so far 10 interceptions by our secondary so far, but not turning into winning football. Take a look at the standings, or not the standings. I actually wanted to see our schedule. What are we losing games by like a bunch of points, or are these just we blew out the Ravens and then we lost 3-7 and then we lost 27-31. So, you know, kind of some close losses, honestly, kind of just not going our way. So that's a little disappointing, but we'll have to get it ready and get this team ready for season 3 already, because yeah, that is not great. So we end up finishing the season 5-12. That's not very good. And Todd Keys had a good rookie season, 30 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, close to 4,000 yards, 801 yards for Marquise Holmes, 10 touchdowns. Christian Watson, 17 receiving touchdowns on the season, 1,200 yards. Chris Olave, 1,000 yards, 5 receiving touchdowns. So that is a really good season for both of them. Just lost a bunch of close games. And then Carl Granderson with 10.5 sacks, Keon White with 7, Devon Gottschall with 7, Andy Arnold with 6.5, and a bunch of turnovers. 6 interceptions for Kyler Gordon, Justin Reed, and that's about it. So a little disappointing right there. We do have some upgrades we're gonna do here. We have a bunch for Andy Key. Wait, why am I forgetting this guy's name? It's Todd Keys and Andy Arnold. We have a bunch of upgrades here for Todd Keys, so let's do them and see what he ends up looking like. So Todd Keys only ended up having star development, but we ended up getting him to an 86 overall here at the end of season 2. With the morale, that makes him an 89, but his core attributes look really good. Great short accuracy, deep accuracy, medium accuracy looks good, awareness looks good, throwing the run looks good, everything here looks good. So we have our quarterback of the future for sure here. Just gonna have to figure out the rest of the roster. Season recap for year number 2, and it is the Buffalo Bills losing in the Super Bowl to the Philadelphia Eagles. Joe Burrow wins MVP because he seems to always do that, because the Bengals playbook is the best playbook, and it looks like the Eagles becoming a dynasty somewhat here in this franchise mode, or just in Madden 26 in general. So let's get to re-signing. Okay, so we come to re-signing. Chris Olave does not want to re-sign. Does not matter, pal. You are going... Wow, that's a big franchise tag. You know, Olave has not played particularly well for us. We are going to pass on bringing him back right now. We might try to re-get him back in free agency, but Keon White, I do want to keep around for the next little bit here, and he is going to come back. And there's not much else we need to do here. Kendre Miller, we're not going to bring back. Jalen Coker, Devon Gottschall. We have other defensive players that we're going to focus on. Isaiah Fowski, not going to happen. Trey Brown wants to come back. I'll give him a 2-year deal just for some added depth. Honestly, that's really it. And that is going to do it in terms of re-signing Olave. I'm just not comfortable paying that price tag for a receiver who hasn't done particularly well for us in the sim. So we're going to see if there's maybe a bigger fish out there in free agency for us to bring in. So we're here in free agency. Chris Olave doesn't want to come back, but Jameson Williams is here, and I want to see if we can go out here and get Jameson Williams around what was it, $17 million a year, $18 million a year. I want to see, is that enough to entice Jameson Williams? And it is. And we're going to keep that offer on him and try to make that happen. We do need another wide receiver as well. I know we have Christian Watson, but I feel like we do need just another one in general. And Trey Tucker seems to make a lot of sense here. And this offseason is about improving this offensive, maybe the weapons a little bit. And we go here, Jameson Williams, Trey Tucker. Tight end's not going to happen. We're pretty good still on the offensive line, so it's not something we have to do just yet. You know, the edge situation is what it is. We don't need to bring in any more defensive tackles, really. We have enough. DJ Reader would be interesting to bring in. He's interested in us a lot. But we do have younger players. How many years does he want? He just wants a 1-year deal. So if it's just a 1-year deal, bring him in. You know, try to get over the hump, get into the playoffs. I'm a little annoyed that I have missed the playoffs so many times in these franchises. It really annoys me, honestly. Kyle Hamilton is here. He has a bunch of offers. We do have Justin Reed, but we're getting Kyle Hamilton. That would just be a big time improvement over what we have. And wow, Kyle Hamilton just not interested in us. So what if we go 12 million here? Do we even get into the hunt for Kyle Hamilton? That we just don't. So we're going to withdraw that offer because he's just not interested in us. We don't need to get better at strong safety, but we do need to get maybe younger Justin Reed still there. So you know what? We're not going to. We're good at kicker. We don't need any kickers because we just don't. You know, running back, we're good at running back. So we don't really need to do anything else. That's really kind of the tough situation. It feels like we're kind of fine. We don't need to bring in any other tight ends, really. Actually, we kind of do. We're kind of older at tight end. So former hyped up player, Michael Mayer, see if we can bring him in. And that's going to maybe do it for free agency. So these are the players we have targeted. Let's see if any of them are interested in becoming New Orleans Saints. We get all 3 of them. There we go. So I think we improve our wide receiver room by getting Jameson Williams. He's younger than Chris Olave by a couple years, so I think he immediately gives us a shot in the arm there. We get Trey Tucker and we get DJ Reader for a year as we're going to try to make a playoff push, but I think we're pretty good here at free agency. I don't really think there's much else that we need to do. I'm just kind of not seeing it. Tyler Smith is here in free agency. Let's go take a look at our... I'm pretty sure we're decent at guard. I don't think we need to make any improvements on this offensive line. I could be wrong, but you know what? We could make a really big improvement on our line with Tyler Smith. Let's go see if we can do that. One of the better players in free agency, and we're going to give him a bunch of money. See if he likes it. Tyler Smith. Does he want to be a New Orleans Saint? And he does want to be a New Orleans Saint. So we spent a ton of money in free agency, and I think they were on high impact players, if I'm being entirely honest. I think we got better. So let's get to the draft. So we get here to the draft. We still probably needs future edge talent on this team. And for whatever reason, I could not hire any scouts to properly, scout For whatever reason, it would not let me change the thing to, I'm not sure if anyone's ever run into this issue where you can't actually change your coaching abilities, so I couldn't properly hire scouts that fit with what we wanted to do. So I ended up just sticking with some scouts that only scouted quarterback. There's one round one projected edge player here. This is kind of what I want to go after. Says we need defensive tackle. We don't need running back. We need to get another edge player in here. Rashard Warner is kind of the one that I'm looking at, and he has elite acceleration, elite jumping, solid speed, decent strength, good agility, great change of direction. We're going to take a shot on him here and kind of hope this works out. And he is number 39 in true value, and we drafted him number 4, so that is a massive reach. And yeah, that might set us back a year or two. Maybe should just trade the pick, but I couldn't properly set up my damn scouts. So thanks, EA. Let's get to the next pick here. So here's the draft recap. We end up, Rashard Warner is a 74 overall. It's just that the dev trade isn't high. We get another receiver here in Luke Bryant, and we have another linebacker here, 74 overall. We have 2 receivers, 87 speed here for Matt Connor. That's not ideal. And then we found another running back that I decided to nab, and that is about it here for the draft. Luke Bryant, though, receiver. Maybe he'll be good. I mean, I don't know. It's a little interesting because I feel like we're pretty decent at receiver. Decided just to take another one, take a flyer on another receiver. His route running's okay. Spec catch is actually, his route running is not okay. I actually think it's kind of bad. I'd like to see some mid-70s to be okay. Maybe he can develop. I'm not 100% sure if he will, but you never know with that. And then Jonathan Baker, our 3rd round pick, linebacker, potentially going to need to start replacing some of these other linebackers we have. He does have hidden dev, though. 74 field general linebacker. Good speed, honestly. His block shedding's pretty good. Good hit power. So zone coverage is going to need some work, but potentially a linebacker of the future for us. So let's get into year 3 and see what the final roster is going to look like. And we'll try to make the playoffs for the first time in this rebuild. Okay, so we come back for the start of year 3. This team is a lot better than when I came here. Todd Keys, I keep on calling him Tyler. Todd Keys up to an 88 overall. We have Jamison Williams. We have Christian Watson. Where's Trey Tucker? I should have Trey Tucker here. Let's look at the defense real quick. Our linebacker room looks really good. This young man looks really good. We have a good corner room. Our defensive line looks really good. Our edge situation is pretty good. This guy progressing pretty nicely. Will probably be our starting edge rusher right there. We have a decent enough corner room. I have to go see if this game released another one of my players for whatever reason, because I could have swore I signed Trey Tucker, and I'm not sure why I would want to cut him. I would definitely not want to do something like that. Let's go look at transactions. Let's go look at the Saints. Did we release? Why would we release Trey Tucker? Why would we do that? Is this game that stupid? I can't trust the game to not release highly paid players. Is he still in the free agent market? I doubt it. So our wide receiver depth gets destroyed by the game for some reason. That is not something I would want to fucking do. Why would the game think I'd want to fucking do that? Is this game just made by morons? Where is Trey Tucker? Now I have to go look. Where is Trey Tucker? What would make the game think, You definitely... Is it because these guys are rookies or something? These are first and second years guys? You would just assume I would want to... These are later round draft picks. What is with this game? So now we have to go through here. Who has Trey Tucker? Who has him? Where is he? Christian Watson there. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? He is on the fucking Cowboys. What would make the game think I would not want to keep him around? That is so fucking frustrating. I'll see you at the midseason mark. God fucking damn this game. I swear to God. So at the midseason mark, we are 4-2. So this is our best start so far here in this rebuild for year 3. And yeah, so let's take a look at these stats. And Todd Keys, low on the yards, 10 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. So we have to be doing it with defense. Yeah, not doing it with the rushing attack and not doing it with offense. I mean, clearly not doing it with offense. Not a lot of numbers being put up here. And defensively, that's when we have to be doing it with our defense. 5 sacks there. I mean, we're not getting a ton of sacks. Are we getting a ton of turnovers? Actually, a decent amount of turnovers. Jonathan Barker, 2 interceptions so far as a rookie linebacker. That is pretty impressive. So, I don't know. We're just kind of winning games. I'm going to assume these are ugly wins. If I had to take a guess, these cannot be like amazing wins. We started the season 3-0 and then kind of a loss, a win, then a loss again to the Falcons. But down the stretch here, gonna have to play better than that if we want to make the playoffs, I think. So I'll check back in with you then. So before I went into the midseason mark, decided to make a trade since the CPU likes trading away or releasing my receivers to acquire, to keep around scrub receivers. I decided to pair some picks, a 2028 second, a 2029 third, fifth, and a 2028 sixth, and some wide receiver. We're going to send that to the Green Bay Packers, and we're going to acquire Jaden Reed here. He has 3 years left on his deal, so I think that's a good player to pick up. Okay, so we have made the playoffs here, 10-7, not the best record in the world, but our roster has progressed pretty well this season. We are at 87 overall, 89 overall offense, 85 overall defense. So we did make the playoffs as a wild card at 10-7. Let's take a look at the stats real quick and kind of see where we were. And I think that trade for Jaden Reed might have jump-started this offense. 32 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 4,300 yards. Rushing attack is still the rushing attack. Again, you're not going to see great rushing in the sim, I think, until you have a 90-plus overall running back. But 15 touchdowns is pretty nice, and then 9 touchdowns for Jameson Williams. 8 touchdowns, I don't know when, this is partly Green Bay, partly here in New Orleans. Christian Watson with 8 touchdowns, and pretty good stuff right there. So offense played pretty well, and then defensively, these guys... Carl Granderson with 11 sacks, and then our rookie, our first round pick, Rashard Warner with 8 sacks on the season. So he definitely overtook Keon White or someone, but either way, played pretty well for us. DJ Reader played all right, but 1 year run here for DJ Reader is defensively, we played pretty well. So let's see how we do against the Cardinals. I'm going to sim most of that game, and then I'll jump in when it looks like it's about to be over. Okay, so we end up beating the Cardinals here, 28-13. Very good stuff. Get our first playoff victory, and we are moving on to the divisional round of the playoffs. So that is very nice. Take a look at the stats real quick. And Todd Keys, 26 of 36, 307 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Rushing, it's just terrible. And then we have 2 touchdowns for Jaden Reed, 1 for Jameson Williams, and 1 for Christian Watson. And then defensively, an interception, and then 3 sacks on the day, or 4 sacks on the day for our defense. So pretty nice. Let's see who we're playing next. All right, so we're taking on the Vikings here. They finished 12-5 on the season. We're better than them. We're higher overall than them. So let's see if we can make this happen. Try to get to the NFC Championship game here in year 3. So we are going to beat the Minnesota Vikings here. Going to kneel it down. We have to do 2 kneel downs because there we go. Don't have to do it. We beat the Vikings 21-20. We look kind of back and forth here, close at the end. And we beat the Vikings 21-20. So let's go see who we're going to be playing in the NFC Championship. So for the NFC Championship game, we're going to be taking on the San Francisco 49ers. They are 9-8. They have an 86 overall team, 85 overall offense, 89 overall defense. We are the better overall, and we had a better record than them. So I doubt this is the first time this has ever happened, but 2 wildcard teams in the NFC Championship game. I'm sure that's happened before, but I'm not aware of it. So let's see how we do here. It is a home game for us. Trip to the Super Bowl on the line. So here it is. Final drive. All comes down to this. And that's a big play right there, but they're going to have to get up to the line, spike the ball, try to get another play. I think they're just going to spike it with like nope, triple zeros. That's it. That is it. We're heading to the Super Bowl. We just won the NFC Championship game, but on to the Super Bowl we go. 24-21. We defeat the San Francisco 49ers here in this one. So let's see who we're going to be playing in the Super Bowl. Only took us to year 3 to get here, but we are the NFC champions. So for the Super Bowl, we're going to be taking on the Houston Texans, and also a pretty big development for us is that our quarterback, Todd Keys, is now Superstar Dev. Got it for getting Offensive Player of the Week. I didn't know you could just get Superstar Dev just for something that simple, but he does have that, and these are the abilities we decided to throw on him. So he is currently a 92 overall, playing up to a 98 with morale. So let's go beat the Texans and let's go win the Super Bowl here. Taking on the Texans, and we are taking them on in the rain, a raining Super Bowl. So I know a lot of 2 dome teams having to play the Super Bowl in inclement weather. So I know the degenerate gamblers who want everything to be a dome would be very upset about this. So let's see how we do here in the Super Bowl. All right, so we are up big in this game here, 27-7, and we're trying to go up here by another score that I think would reasonably probably put this game away. We're gonna come out here, try maybe a mesh look here. I feel like these always work pretty well down in the red zone, but we'll see right here if we can make something happen. And yeah, that's too easy right there. And I think that might be all she wrote here for the Houston Texans. Marquise Holmes with the touchdown. I mean, this would be a hell of a comeback. We are just not going to even entertain it. Let them go for it. And we're going to do it here. We are going to win the Super Bowl here in year number 3. Just like that. All it took was to year 3. So we're going to do one more season after this. There it is, our first, I think, successful rebuild. I think the Jets one should have been successful if it wasn't for the playbooks, controlling so much of the sim. But able to get to the Super Bowl here with Todd Keys. He wins the Super Bowl and is likely going to be the Super Bowl MVP if I had to take a wild guess. But there's Charles Woodson bringing the trophy. We'll take a look here just at the stats and look at this presentation a little bit here. But there we go, our first successful rebuild on the channel. And it's with the New Orleans Saints, a team that I believe I did a rebuild last year on Madden 25. The one time I did do a rebuild, and it was a complete failure. I don't think we made the playoffs once. I think we went 0-17 even at one point. Trying to get my setup, I couldn't show you. It's really tough for me to play the game and do live commentary. I just kind of don't have the setup to do that. I kind of have to look at the replay of the monitor and talk at the same time. Like my computer is right in front of me as I'm talking into it right now, but my TV, which the game is on, is actually like completely behind me. So I have to like turn my body around. So it's really tough for me to do live commentaries. So we win the Super Bowl. Let's take a look here at some of these stats here for this game. And Todd Keys was lights out, sensational. 257 yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, you don't want anything else out of a quarterback. Guy comes in, wins the Super Bowl in his second year in the league. Could not really run the football, but we were able to throw the football. And the trade for Jaden Reed, I think, is what really unlocked this team. And also signing Jameson Williams as well. So, I think those two moves, free agency, one via trade because they got rid of Trey Tucker. Now I'm somewhat glad they got rid of Trey Tucker, but Keon White, 3 sacks in this game, and then an interception for Justin Reed, who I had been talking about trading for multiple seasons, and Kyler Gordon as well. So let's go take a look at where this team's going to stand after winning a Super Bowl and see if we can make another run here for year 4, because after that, we're probably not going to do 5 years. We've already won a Super Bowl. Let's try to go see if we can go back to back. So we have a lot of contracts that we're going to have to go through and do. Well, not a lot, actually, but we have a decent amount of contracts we have to go through and do up here before we get into the offseason. But we have a ton of cap space because we have a young rookie quarterback. We're not paying him a lot of money, so we can kind of keep this team together, pay all of our guys, and try to go at it. Try to win another Super Bowl here. Justin Reed is going to finish his career out a Saint just because we have the money. We can bring him back, and why not? Why not try to just finish out his career as a Saint? Cesar Ruiz, not particularly happy. We'll give him a very player-friendly deal. Add in a 4th year. Want to keep my line together, and he's willing to stay here in New Orleans. Why would you want to leave, pal? Why would you want to leave? We'll give this guy another player-friendly deal as well. Just try to keep this team together, keep this offensive line together. Pete Werner is a little bit older, but we're going to try to bring him back, try to make one last run here in New Orleans, because why not keep really all these guys together? DJ Reader did go down in overall, so we're probably not going to bring him back. We're going to look for another kind of free agent guard. We don't need Trevor Penning because we signed Trey Smith, Carl Granderson. I think we don't actually need any more because we have Keon White and that rookie we drafted last year. So we can just go right into free agency here and get a jump here for year 4. Free agency was short and sweet for us. We go out and we get the best corner on the market. That's Cooper DeJean. Add him to the roster, and instead of bringing back DJ Reader, we decided to bring in Jonathan Allen as well on a 2-year deal. I mean, that's really all we had to do here in free agency. I don't think we don't have any other holes that we really need to plug up at all. We're good at linebacker. We don't really need to go out here and add anyone else. I mean, these guys are just a little too old that I'm not kind of looking to add. So, yeah, I think we're pretty good here at linebacker. Not going to add anyone else. I think we're just going to go into the draft now and kind of see what we can do there. All right, we're in the draft. I am going to draft another tight end because I like drafting tight ends. I don't know why. I'm not a big fan. I just like drafting them in. That kind of makes some sense for us, actually, because this team will probably be without Michael Mayer after he ends up hitting free agency next year. So, I mean, we're not doing another year, but you never know. But we do get a pretty good tight end here. He looked really good. Ramon Campanaro, and 83 speed. I guess that's okay. 87 acceleration. And yeah, so skills look good, and he has hidden depth. So I think that's a decent pick. So this is the final draft for the last year of this rebuild, and again, what have I said before? If you're looking for a defensive tackle, find the nose tackle and draft them because they are always really good. I mean, the nose tackles are just kind of cracked in Madden 26. These guys are, and he has hidden dev too. So the game crashed on me. So we find a hidden defensive tackle. This team is set up very good for the future, even after this nice little Super Bowl run. So let's advance in here and let's go and try to win another Super Bowl. I'll be back and we'll take a look at the final roster for year 4. Okay, so this is the team for the final year of the rebuild. 94 overall quarterback. Wide receivers are really good, honestly. We have some great tight ends, honestly. An amazing tight end room. Offensive line is pretty much elite, if I'm being honest. Our defense is really good, honestly. Dare I say elite. We have a great cornerback room. I mean, I added an extra corner just because I felt like it. We got Cooper DeJean. Jonathan Allen here. Our safeties are really good. So I don't see any reason why we can't repeat, try to go back to back here, win another Super Bowl. And yeah, so that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to simulate. I'll see you when we get to the playoffs. I hope we should make the playoffs. I feel like we should, but you never know with Madden. We'll see. Final here. Actually, no, not final. I'll show you that when we're done with this, so I'll be right back. So we did make the playoffs, but we ended up making them at 9-8, and we are going to have to go on the road to take on the Rams, who won the NFC West. And playing wild card weekend here. Oh, I forgot, because the top 2 seeds don't get a bye. Only the 1 seed gets a bye. I'm not a fan of that rule. I think the top 2 seeds should always get a bye. Take a look here at Todd Key's stats on the season. 40 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, almost 5,000 yards. Terrible season for Marquise Holmes, but still 10 touchdowns. And then look at this here. Almost 1,400 yards for Christian Watson, almost 1,400 yards for Jamison Williams, almost 1,200 yards for Jaden Reed. Our tight end played very well. Even our rookie tight end, who looks like he could be a monster in the future, played very well. All 3 of our tight ends got receiving touchdowns, but yeah, absolutely insane offense. Defensively, what happened here? 14.5 sacks there. 13.5 sacks for Rashard Warner, I believe one of our first round picks, who has really developed nicely for us. Andy Arnold has developed. Jonathan Allen has played well. Quay Walker has played well. I mean, we've put together a really good team, and we still lost 8 games on the season. But none of that matters because it's all about the playoffs. We put this team all together for a shot to win another Super Bowl. So we're going to go through, try to do that, and I'll come back and see if we can do it. So it's been a back and forth game here, and we are in the 4th quarter. Can we make something happen? And we're going to try. We're going to try. We're going to see if we can actually run the football. I know that's like impossible to ask for in Madden. And we do get the touchdown right there. We take the lead. 5 minutes to go here. Let's see what happens. Do we have to play any defense? We do. I'm going to let the CPU do it. And now we get a shot to close the game out here. Defense could not hold, so we're going to try. I'll try to play the game here on a small computer screen. Let's see if we can make this happen. And let's see if we can get this thing to see Watson. We can! Christian Watson! Big play over the top of the defense right there. That's a big, big play right there against this Rams defense. And we're going to try to hurry them up here. Let's go hurry up here. Let's go hurry up here. Let's go hurry up here. Go hurry up here. Gonna find Cardona, and he gets the touchdown. Quick strike by the offense, just like that. Let's see, can our defense hold? And game's on the line, so I guess we will come in and play a little bit of defense. I usually try not to, and it doesn't look like we're going to be pretty good here. I like that the CPU, no matter what, they can run the football. When we want to run the football, it's a big, like, fuck you. Your guys are going to get insta-shedded, and you're going to get fucking tackled, and you're going to get slammed down, and it keeps giving me these awful formations that I don't want to have. So let's try to do something here. Try to make something happen. And, you know, they're going to take their time here on this drive, it looks like, and run the damn ball. I'm not sure why they keep asking me to run these weird formations. They want to run the ball and run it out on themselves. That's fine by me. I don't really care. I mean, you're running the ball out on yourselves. So now you have to run the football here. I'm not sure what the play calling on that was. And we give up a big play there to Puka Nacua. And they're going to call a timeout. So now we're going to have to try to get some pressure here. Hopefully, at this point, if they're going to score, I'd rather just let them score. But we'll see. And we're going to sack their quarterback. It's Rashard Warner. His second sack of the game. First round pick from a couple years ago. Making it happen right there. And yeah, 2nd and 17. At this point, just play smart defense. And they're going to go for a screen here. And Andy Arnold, you freak. Able to get out to him right there. Bring him down, so they get nothing on that play. And we're just going to come back out here. Another Nichols kind of play. 3rd and 18. They probably have to start chucking this towards the end zone. And we're just going to shove their guy back. And we're going to shove him out of bounds. 4th and 17 here. And we're just going to play cover 2 man here. And try to keep them out of the end zone and move on to the divisional round. And there we go. They're not going to get it. They have one timeout left, but it does not matter. We are going to go on to the divisional round of the playoffs. And there we go. 28-21. We beat the Rams. So in the divisional round, we have to take on the Eagles. They're 14-3. We're better than them, though. 91 overall, 93 offense, 89 defense. We're better than the Eagles. We should beat them. I'll come back and see if we do. All right, so we are here in the NFC Championship game, simulating through, just kind of trying to get through, not the NFC Championship, the divisional round, just kind of going through it here. Gonna see if we can get out of here with a victory. And it looks like we are gonna get out of here. 28-14, we beat the Eagles. Moving on to the NFC Championship game for another chance for a trip to the Super Bowl. All right, back in the NFC Championship game, taking on the Panthers, who are 9-8, and we're also 9-8. So, yeah, the whole NFC South actually went 9-8, and somehow the Falcons ended up missing the playoffs. So, let's get in here. We are way better than the Panthers. We should have no problem beating them. We'll see, and then we'll see if we can get back to the Super Bowl. Okay, so we are going back to the Super Bowl. We beat the Panthers 30-20 in their house, and we are going back to our 2nd straight Super Bowl. Let's see what happens. Let's try to get in here and see if we can go back to back and end this rebuild successfully. So here we go. It's the Super Bowl. Going to be taking on Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, another team we are better than. We should beat them. So let's see what happens when we get in there. All right, so it looks like we are pretty close to closing this thing out. Just got to get another first down, and we should be out of here with our 2nd Lombardi trophy. Let's see, they're going to start calling timeouts now, and we get these big, long, drawn-out animations for those timeouts, because that's sim. I'm just messing around with you. But looks like we are going to pick up that first down. They are going to call a timeout. They have one more timeout to call, and then we should be golden here. And they're going to call their last timeout right there. Seems like we just can't run the ball no matter what, even in sim. Just does not matter. Never really were able to figure out the run game in this franchise, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. We're going to call that play. We have 2 o'clock on, and then we're probably going to call one more run play. We're actually going to see what they come out in, and maybe we can try to pick up this first down through the air. And of course not, because our receiver gets bumped. I swear to God, someone at Electronic Arts needs to have their... I'm not even going to say it, man. I'm not even going to say it. I just love that we're just getting bumped. Doesn't matter. We win the game anyways, though. 28-16, we beat the Bengals. We go back to back, and Todd Keys may have just started another dynasty in the NFL, and this time it's in New Orleans with the Saints. And the Bengals, they lose another Super Bowl. Joe Burrow is not clutch. Todd Keys, the world is his as he wins his second Super Bowl, likely his second Super Bowl MVP. We saw all of this last time, so there we go. We go back to back, winning another Super Bowl here. Take a look at these player stats real quick for this game. And yeah, Todd Keys, 17-26, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception on the day. Running attack was not very good. Receiving wise, though, it was Jaden Reed, Dalton Wall, and Jameson Williams. And Jameson Williams really is what kind of set it off, I think. But also, I think really getting Jaden Reed as well. And then defensively, it was Keon White. The Keon White trade that we made might have been the first trade we made in this franchise. That ended up kind of, I think, being one of our key defensive players here. And then Jonathan Allen kind of coming in here like a mercenary, picking up a ring. Quay Walker, another big piece. Justin Reed, a guy who I thought about trading right away. We didn't end up trading at all. Rashard Warner, one of our first picks. And then Andy Arnold and Matt Hendricks also playing pretty well, playing a key part on this defense. And then Jonathan Barker, 90 overall linebacker, ends up getting an interception as well. So let's go take a look at this final team here as we are going to end this franchise on a high note, winning a second Super Bowl here. And it's going to advance a week here, and we are going to call it a franchise. What a success this has been. Easily our best franchise so far in Madden 26. The other one that the Jets one we just had, I thought we put together a better team with the Jets. We just never made the playoffs for some reason, which I really don't understand. Auto do all these upgrades, kind of see what our final overall is. And our final overall is going to be a 90 overall, 93 overall offense, and a 90 overall defense. We have a great quarterback, 99 overall, superstar X Factor. We have great tight ends, great receiving core, great offensive line. Todd Keys is the quarterback that did it. There we go. Lucky number 13, great ratings. Accuracy numbers are great, 92 throw power. And yeah, only 25 years old, has a lot of time left in his career to stack up some more ranks. Tyler Shuck actually ends up getting to a 79 overall, but he's like already like almost 30 at this point in the game, actually, I think. Let's take a look here. And yeah, he's already 29, so just wasn't good enough to be our starter, but has stuck around as the backup. Christian Watson, 88. We got Jaden Reed, Jameson Williams. Defensively, we have a great line. I believe Jonathan Allen left. He must have retired. Gonna go out on top. Keon White developed. Warner developed. We have a great defensive line, honestly, and we have a great linebacker core. We have some good safeties. Starting to get a little bit older, likely. Cooper DeJean, 94 overall. Kyler Gordon, Kool-Aid McKinstry. Just all in all, we put together a really great team, and we're able to win the Super Bowl. And we still have salary cap, so if I wanted to, I could run another year, but I'm not. I am going to get out of here. I want to thank you guys for watching this. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to hit subscribe if you want more rebuilds. I'm having fun doing these, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.